getting the like Power Arcade
Oh yeah.
joystick thing was like, that was $25.
That was the
changed my life.
the holy grail.
Yeah.
For gamers.
Yeah, and Castlevania to me is still like, why do you need graphics better than that? That's just doesn't need to
I
look
mean,
any
come
nicer.
on. Yar's Revenge.
So
Perfect. Perfect the way it is.
Did anybody say no to you when you were? Because I one of the things I really loved was seeing all the actual licenses instead of the movie made up versions
Right.
of everything. Did anyone?
No,
Was there anything you wanted
there
that
wasn't
nobody
really.
Was that a hard process to clear that?
It was not. It was not as hard as you might imagine. I'm sure the lawyers at the Disney company would disagree with me because they're the ones who had to kind of write it. But that's what they love to do. So.
Yeah.
But we approached it like this. We always tried to use characters that were kind of appropriate to the situation or the scene that that we were creating. And to that end, we weren't trying to do things that would be kind of out of the ordinary for
Cramming
these,
things in, going, look at the Easter
right,
egg, Easter egg.
Right.
Yeah.
Although we have some of those, but not with like
Skrillex.
Yeah.
He's the ultimate Easter egg.
but not with those game characters, because it's like at Disney, if someone came to us and said, we'd like to use Mickey Mouse and we want him to do something that's very un-Mickey Mouse like, they would probably say, well, I don't think we would want to do that. So we always looked for very creative and appropriate ways to use the characters. And most times, I would say just about every time, that we would go and talk with the people, from the different companies, and I would pitch them the idea and say, this is how we're making this movie. It's about video games, and we would love to use your character in it, and here's what we're thinking of the scene. This is how we're imagining the scene happening. And for the most part, they would say, yes, that's great. We would love to be involved. Very, very seldom did anyone, and no one ever said, no, we don't want you to do that because of the way you're using the character. It was like, well, there were some instances of legal, situations where someone owns the rights to the character's likeness, someone owns the right to the cabinet or the name, so it would be kind of red tape like that would.
And the harder it was, the more the lawyers could bill. So
That's right.
It worked out for everyone.
So, and they loved it. But no, it was all kind of based on good old fashioned, just kind of meeting face to face and saying, hello, I'm Rich, and making this movie, and we'd love to use Pac-Man, and here's how we'd like to use them, and we'd go from there.
So. Awesome. One of the biggest challenges going from episodic TV length animation to feature film. What was the hardest part about that transition for you?
I wouldn't say it's harder. It's just changing kind of the rhythm of television and features is different. Television, you're telling several stories, over a year. So you're always you've always got 13 to 22 of them kind of percolating at once, whereas this, over 3 years, 4 years, we're creating the same 90 minutes over and over again, So the pace is different. In television, you're running fast, trying to you're sprinting constantly. Whereas this is a marathon, you're honing, or you're creating, and you're honing that scene, and then you're re-honing it, and you're working it out. So the whole piece, the whole movie has kind of a depth and a profound nature to it, that is different from a television show, because you're telling the story of one character and you're giving him an arc, and he's going to be a different character. He's going to be a different person at the end of that story. Whereas a TV show strives to kind of take the character that we know to a place and then bring them right back to where we left or where we started, to be done again next week. And it's just kind of a different rhythm. They're both great, they're both wonderful mediums, and I enjoy them both a lot. It's just that they're it just has a different kind of rhythm and pace to it.